Let's talk about your house a little bit this morning, because whether you're looking to sell your home either now or maybe in the year to come, or you're just a homeowner wanting to make sure your home stays in tip-top shape, Grace Frank is back on the show with us this morning. She has Grace Frank Realty, and she has brought with her Edwin Bear of Lookout Inspections. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
So first of all, your realtor can be your friend, should be your friend.
Oh, absolutely. They're your guiding post of working through what is important when you're listing your house or purchasing a property. They're your trusted advisor.
We've owned 3 or 4 houses, I guess, in our marriage, and every time we would buy or sell, it was almost like a codependency that we had with our realtor. We loved our realtor, and so that closing day was a little bit bittersweet because you had to part ways.
Well, you always keep in touch. That's why you have client events.
Yeah.
And get to see people.
Well, but I say that because that's very much your, I think, mission with the work that you do at Grace Frank. And so you curate kind of this team of people who you trust, and you brought Edwin along.
I did. We use Edwin a lot, and I recommend for every listing, particularly if it's an older house, that you get a home inspection before we put it on the market. Currently, right now, one of the biggest challenges with selling a property is the inspection. And it's kind of like this, what's going to happen? What are they going to find? And so if you, prior to listing your home, if you do get a home inspection, then a lot of that surprise is not there, and you can get things done prior to listing it or at the time you're listing it to make sure that there's not going to be any big surprises from the buyer getting concerned.
And for both parties, right, Edwin? Because you may get a home inspection and some things the seller may go ahead and address, and then they can disclose to potential buyers what they're not going to address.
Yeah, and then any issues that you were not aware of when you get your home inspection done before you list your house, or when it's on the market before you have a buyer come in, then you are going to know what those issues are, and you can budget in case you have a big issue that comes up that you weren't aware about.
Okay, let's talk about the work you do then at Lookout Inspections. When you do a home inspection, is it good or bad for the homeowner to be there? Which do you prefer?
It's always easiest for me if there's no one there.
Okay.
If the homeowner's there, that it's better that they're not there, in my opinion. But for me, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go about my business the same way. It's their house. If they want to be there, that's okay. But I know some inspectors may not want them to be there at all, but I'm okay with that.
A thorough inspection is going to look like what? What all are you going to cover?
I'm going to inspect every single little thing at your house. You're going to have a 40-page report, photographs throughout it. Every little detail is going to be covered, but your main issues, that'll be on your last few pages of your report. That's your summary pages. That's more of the main issues that I would suggest to have addressed. Those are going to be the things that are either going to cost you a lot of money to fix, or they're going to cost you money moving forward if you don't fix them now.
Do you do radon testing? Is that like an additional offer?
Yes, that's something I do as well. That's additional from the home inspection. There's a device that I'll leave at the house. The longer you let it sit there, the better. But you have to have it sit there for at least 2 days. But again, the longer, the better.
I remember it might have been the last house we sold, and it was just, there are a lot of little tiny things that you as the homeowner might think, what? But you have to address it because codes change all the time. Is that a frequent issue you run into?
Yeah, and then a code inspection, that's a little different from a home inspection. And I go out to Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, different states, different cities, different counties will have different codes. There is an international building code as well, but codes do change as well, yes.
Okay, a common theme in talking about real estate seems to be take care of the bones of your house.
Yeah, and exactly. And so one of the biggest things that I see as a listing agent with home inspections that we get requests of this problem or that problem is crawl spaces. Crawl spaces are a huge challenge in our market because we have a lot of water and we have a lot of underground springs all over. So if there's been a lot of rain, then the water table comes up, and then there's more water that's just naturally in a crawl space if you don't have it managed.
Right.
So crawl spaces are a big one. Another big one that always comes up are
attics.
Attics, yeah.
Like insulation or?
Insulation, rafters, the decking, so the wood under the roof covering. Those are areas basically that you're not really going to, that you're not going to know about as a homeowner, because you think about it, how often are you actually crawling under your house to see if something's leaking in the crawl space?
You know, on the water side of things, there are a lot of old, charming houses around here, and people are wanting those, which is great. But often they can have original plumbing, right? The original pipes. Is that a concern necessarily? And can you check those out?
Yes, I can, and it can be a concern, but just because it's older doesn't mean it's not good anymore. It just depends on how well it's kept up and how well the person selling the house or who's lived there before, if they've kept up with it and kept an eye on it. So annually is not a bad thing to do, to have an inspection done at your house so you know what's going on.
I kind of like that idea. That's why I mentioned if you're an existing homeowner, because you budget a few $100s, but you've then got the peace of mind. If you wanted to do that, is now kind of a good time because those water tables are high, probably.
Yes, when it's rainy season coming up, it's a good idea to have an inspection done to see if you have any water coming into your house, and then you can get a company over, if you do, to take care of that issue.
Now, you mentioned, Grace, that you're a listing agent, but if you're looking to sell, can they still reach out to you? Or
Absolutely.
Are you,
That's yes. That's selling is listing.
Okay, just wanted to cover our bases to make absolutely sure. So she will be that friend that you'll become codependent on, maybe. It's the Grace Frank Group. Here's where you can find her, and she has this great team of people to kind of guide you through and walk you to success, whether you're buying or selling. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hi, I'm Trevor. Welcome to the Hemp House. Let me show you where the treats are.
Our selection of local products allows the